Hey, hollow pointers out there. We are going to do some mechanical work today, and then we're going to do some shooting and do a comparison. What I've got here is the AEA Regulator for the small bore line. So the 30 cal, the 25, 22. This is the Regulator. So we're going to put this into this, and it's basically going to go right here, and the rest will go into it. So I will chop this video up and show you how we take this apart, but it's not really difficult. And always remember, if I can do it, you can do it. So this is kind of a combo video. Bintac sent me the regulator. Thank you, Ben. And this is the rifle that Terry Fox had sent me from Fox Air Power. So it's a combo video saying thank you to both the men. First thing is you need to get the air out. So you basically grab your monkey wrench, stick it on the gauge, and loosen it a turn. And when the air starts coming out, stop. Because you don't want to unthread it till it blows off. Just open it up enough that the air slowly bleeds off and you're good to go. Once she's empty, then you can take the rifle out of the stock. So I've pretty much done this part already. Come here, screw. It always works so much easier in practice. So there's the big old Allen nut, screw, whatever you want to call it. And we separate the two. Okay, so the next thing we're going to have to do is we're going to have to loosen these two bolts here. Okay, you don't have to take it all the way off, but back it out, I don't know, a couple 1/16 of an inch. So that's loose, and now I can unscrew the air tube. It's not rocket science, like you said. If I can do it, you can do it. I've been doing this for years, doing the research and development on air rifles. Spent a lot of time changing tubes and barrels. There we go. So that's an empty air tube. This is the breech area. So then what I'm going to do is make things simpler. I'll screw this onto here. It's a big fat O-ring on there. Get it so your threads are lined up. You don't want to be cross-threading your tube, man. Be ruining everything. So don't be forcing it, you know. Now it's getting tight. There you go, hand tight. That's what you need. So then we'll put this bad boy back on, and there's a big O-ring there, so we're going to kind of get it onto that. Push it down and start to reassemble. So putting it in. Now, there is a pin in the body of the lower breech, and when there's no air pressure on it, that pin wants to slip out, or at least on mine it does. Okay, hand tight. So I put this little piece of tape here, but like you said, there's this little pin right here. It just slides back and forth. So for me, it was popping out. It was falling out all over the place. So that's why I put the tape there, so I could remind you to keep an eye on your pieces and parts. There. Boom. baby. That's it. That's how simple it is. Now I've already tightened my gauge back up. So, and my little pin is center. It's a little tight now, which is what I want. Slip this back on. And we'll put our main bolt back in. Screw this back on. Put it back together. So, like I said, if I can do it, you can do it. Boom. Ready to rock and roll. All I got to do is put some go-go juice in it, and we're rocking. And on, just to help. Put this on. That helps a lot. There we go, brother. Now I am ready to air the beast up. Again, thank you, Ben, and thank you, Terry Fox. I'm the man with the plan. Like I said, this regulator will go on all the small bores. So the 30 cal, the 25, and I believe the 22. All right, gentlemen. One of the ways you can get a little more life out of your O-rings is just put a little bit of lubricant on there. You know, you gotta have just a little bit of lubricant. It does make life a little bit easier. That way it's not drying out and it's not gonna crack. All right, gentlemen, the other thing you want to make sure you don't do is you don't want to dump all your air into the rifle. So we are going to slowly fill this gun, because a hot fill can mess up all sorts of your rubber. I'm slowly opening it, and of course the probe fills are always slow. You can hear the air going. It's coming through the tanks, through the booster pump, up into the rifle. Okay, and I'm down here like this, so hoping you can see me as I'm pointing in this direction. Rather take a few minutes to fill this thing up than to just zip, fill it up, and have it overheat. You remember, you're putting in a couple hundred cc's of air through the itty bitty hole in that probe. So best to go slow on any air rifle. You don't want to hot fill it. So while that's going on, I'm going to enjoy my delicious cup of coffee here from Fox Air Power. What a day to start the day. I should be working for an espresso. Oh, Penelope Cruz. Ah. Anyway, she's slowly filling. Going to take a little bit of time. You know, you'll feel it start to heat up if you go too fast. So just watching it slowly. And with the probe, the needle does like to go up and back because of the way the slow fill is. All right, give this a couple of minutes and we'll be right back to have more fun. This is what I will be testing today with the regulator. So we've got the 77, which fit the magazine and fly just fine. The 88, which goes single shot. And then the 111, the deer killer of North Texas. I just made that part up, guys. But this is what we will be testing today. Checking our shot count, what we're going to start with, and what we end with. Okay. All right, gentlemen. Now, I know my place is a pigsty, but bear with me. I pretty much know everything is at any given moment in time. So, 4,500 PSI fill. This is the 88 grain. And there we go. Let's see what happens. A single shot tray. And you'll see me punch and drop because I want to make sure that that bullet seats. But I will have to put my glasses back on because I can't see the chronograph. Okay, so we just finished 20 shots. Started at 4,500 PSI, ended with 2,000 PSI. A very nice string. We'll go over the numbers here in a minute. One thing I did want to point out is I've got this on full power. You can regulate it a little bit if you want to get, you know, maybe a tighter group, depending on your stuff. Just like before, loosen it and then reduce it. You can play with it any way you want. But I've got it on full power. And if you've noticed I had a little problem with my fingers, it's because I got this full pick rail across there and it's hard to get the bullet to just drop in, you know, as I'm doing that. So just without this here, it's going to be a lot easier to drop that in if you have a two-piece pick rail instead of a one-piece. So that's it on this. Awesome. Just want to say, gentlemen, that my outfit is brought to you by Jim and Marini at Marini House of Fashions in Long Island, New York. Yes, this is what the modern sportsman is wearing today. 17 available stores, including Cucamonga, Pago Pago, and Little America. That's right, Long Island Jim's House of Fashions. Now that you've seen my fashion designs by Jim and Marini. Anyways, so if you go back and look at the previous 30 cal video, I was getting about 12 shots, give or take. So 4,500 down to the 2,000 range. Now we're getting 20 shots. So we're using about 2,500 PSI. 20 shots equals out to about 125 PSI per shot. It's really, really tight. I have, now with the 3 shots, the fastest groupings, of course, was with the 70 grain. Then the 88 is going to be a little slower. The 111 was really slow. The 111, a little disappointed in, but again, it's regulated for shot count, not max power. So I guess if I was going to hunt bigger game on a regular basis with the 111, I would shoot it without the regulator because that way I'm getting in the high numbers. But if you're going to shoot the 88 grain and under, you know, it's fantastic. I mean, just with the 88, we're starting with 844 and we're ending with 816. The first 10 shots, actually all the way up the first 14 shots, were in the 800s. So the speeds go up and down a little bit. It might be 817, 815, 817, 814, 815, 812. It goes up and down a little bit. I don't know if I'm shooting too quick and I'm not giving the regulator time to fill all the way. But the shots, the spread is so phenomenally tight. If you're doing a lot of shooting, this regulator is the way to go. So if you want to save yourself some money in buying a whole other rifle, just get the regulator and put it in like I showed you, and you're looking at 20 shots. Now granted, they will start to drop over a period, as you get further down, but I didn't, like I said, the first 14, I was in the 800s, so that's pretty significant. I guess if I just did 15 shots across the board instead of 20, it would look maybe a little more impressive, but I think 20 shots is still pretty darn impressive. I keep saying a lot because I do fly solo here as I think things pop into my head. So the power dial is set on full. All right, maybe I could have tweaked a little better, some more numbers if I moved it down to the weaker setting. I don't know, but I'm all about power because I'm always trying to kill something as fast as possible. Super easy to put on. Like I said, two-piece pick rail is going to be better than the solid because it's hard to get my finger in there with the longer bullets. You will need a barrel band with the long one, and I've got the Donnie FL on here, and it is pretty quiet and pretty accurate. I mean, I've done the outdoor videos before we had the regulator, and it's a very impressive rifle. So for the amount of money you're spending off the shelf, you can't beat this combination. Like I said, without the regulator, 10 to 12 shots. With the regulator, 15 to 20. So, it's up to you. But definitely the 88 grain and under with the regulator. The 111 grain, first couple of shots got a little bit of power, but I like being into higher numbers with the bigger bullets. There's a reason you're shooting 111 grain. So I'll put the charts here. You can kind of look at it. You see what I'm talking about, but it's just a lot of boring numbers. But the numbers tell you something. It's, I mean, I am your foot-pounds accountant, and I'm really happy with this. So, some of the video may look a little funny is because I didn't realize I had the camera on slow motion. So some of the footage I've speeded up, hopefully to make it look better. I want to thank Ben at bentacllc.com for this regulator. It really is a neat item. Takes the fuss and the muss out of trying to guess where things are. Terry Fox for sending me this beautiful Challenger 30. And if you guys got any questions about bullets, contact me, and please text me or email me. I'm not a big fan of responding to the YouTube questions and whatnot. Usually, for some reason, we just don't seem to connect properly. Hit the like button and the subscribe button and all that other stuff, just so you get notifications when I put up more, videos. And that, I think, is it, gentlemen. Any questions about guns and air rifles and pricing? Go to the websites themselves. Go to bentacllc.com for anything about that, or Terry Fox at foxairpower.com. I don't discuss pricing because that changes. Supply, demand, and the cost of parts. So I'm not going to tell you it's this price and then it's actually this price, and then you get all upset and have a coronary and a thrombosis. So Mr. Hollow Point says thank you for watching along. We'll try to maybe get outside and do some long distance shooting with this, but I mean, how exciting is just shooting a tiny ragged hole. So gentlemen, Mr. Hollow Point out, and hopefully we'll come back at you with something a little more exciting than shooting ragged holes. Thanks for watching.